Looks like Jay-Z's past is finally catching up to him. The people he crossed are now coming back for payback. Gene Deal just dropped a bombshell, saying Jay-Z is the next one on the hit list. And even Beyoncé is quietly preparing to distance herself. To make things worse, Diddy has reportedly cut ties with Jay because Jay didn't stand by him during his trial.
To me, man, is that Diddy used to hate Jay-Z. He hated Jay-Z enough where he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay-Z. This is back in the early 2000s.
Did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah, he was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It was probably because Big had died. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them. You know what I mean? It definitely was some...
Jay-Z has always had a history with violence, but this time, the tables have turned and he's the one being hunted. Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal have been warning about this for years, saying both Jay and Diddy are dangerous men with dark sides. Karma already caught up to Diddy. He's behind bars now, but for Jay, what's coming could be much worse.
Tonight, Irv Gotti and Jay Prince, these four gentlemen that got together, they're gonna put up $30 million apiece.
Contemplating doing the first black-owned distribution company.
The thing is, they wasn't trying to let us in the door. That's why I don't trust these people.
Rashid came up with the idea. It was a brilliant plan. He said, whatever the recording funds, 10% goes to the union. Each time you do a new album, 10%. It was going to be some get down or lay down shit. Shortly after that, the feds raided.
All of us was being hit up around the same time. Someone left that meeting talking about our move.
It was Jay-Z and Puff that went to those Lyor Cohen to let them know what Suge Knight was trying to do. They told Jay, if you help us get rid of Dame, we're going to make you the president of Def Jam.
Why don't we stick together and they got to come to us? For some reason, everybody just wants to do everything on their own. They don't understand collective.
Inside the industry, Jay-Z has gained a reputation for being a snitch. And remember that whole mess with Lance Rivera? Jay-Z actually paid him to stay silent after that stabbing incident. He later pleaded guilty to third-degree assault for stabbing Lance back in December 1999. Yet Lance still claims Jay didn't do it. Why would he say that? Probably because he knows it's safer to keep his mouth shut.
Top rap star is busted.
Jay-Z turned himself in tonight and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
For Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay-Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of Jay-Z.
I have my faults, I'm not a perfect.
Jay-Z doesn't seem to feel even a bit of remorse for what happened. In fact, he's bragged in interviews that stabbing Lance was one of the best things that ever happened to him. Imagine calling that the best thing you've ever done. That kind of mindset says a lot. And while he's out here saying that publicly, he's also making sure Lance never speaks about it again. Everyone who was in the Kit Kat Club that night knows exactly what went down. The only person denying it is Lance himself.
We had an incident with Rivera. But you pled guilty to charges of, I don't remember exactly the charges, assault with a deadly weapon.
They would have never let me be out here with you if that was the case.
You stabbed him. Okay. All right. Do you feel like that was a mistake in hindsight?
I believe that was the greatest thing ever. This is gonna sound crazy, but I believe that helped me. You know what I'm saying? Because that put the brakes on everything. That let me know that no matter how successful you are and how much you're on your road, it can all stop. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you still kid from Marcy Projects, and not everybody they waiting for you to mess up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just go ahead. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna let you just go ahead and self-destruct yourself. You know what I'm saying? But that right there was a moment I was like, okay. You know, and I'm glad they didn't have to take for me to be in jail for like 7 years to be like, damn. Oh, you know what I'm saying? That moment was like, okay, all that stops. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not going to parties with 30 people, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'm not putting myself in that position no more.
Yeah, when you look at Dame still kind of living that life, you know, you can find Dame at the club, you know.
Yeah, but he's with 30 models. It's a little different. I was with the hood.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. He's hanging at a different kind of club.
First Diddy, now Jay-Z. Someone seems to be targeting Hollywood's biggest villains, and it feels like Jay's turn is next. Ice Cube even said he believes Diddy's downfall didn't happen by accident. Think about it. One moment, Diddy's a billionaire flying around the globe on private jets, and less than a year later, he's lost $700 million and sitting in a prison cell. That doesn't just happen by chance.
Yeah, Diddy everywhere. Okay. Yeah. So, did you ever have any kind of run-in with Diddy? Did you ever do anything with Diddy? Any projects you worked out with him?
He produced a few records, or had his producers do a few records on my War and Peace album, the Peace Disc. Yeah.
How was he to work with?
It was cool. You know, he gave us great music. We flew out to New York, and I was mainly in the studio with the producer. You know, he had a stable of producers, so I was in the studio with his stable of producers, and I think we did some great music. And you know, I really kind of lost contact with him and really stopped, dealing with Puffy around 94. Yeah.
Any specific reason?
Yeah, I mean, they was doing their thing, I was doing mine. And, I'm not the partying type. You know what I mean? I ain't never been to a Diddy party. I ain't never really wanted to go. But I don't go to a lot of people parties. That just ain't what I'm in it for.
Jay-Z might look tough on the outside, but when things get real, he's not built for that kind of fight. Back in 1996, during the height of the East Coast versus West Coast feud, he locked himself in a Las Vegas hotel room, terrified of running into Tupac. Gene Deal said it got so bad that Suge Knight, who ran Death Row Records, had to step in and convince Tupac to let Jay be so he could still perform.
Story behind Jay-Z being afraid to come out his hotel room because of Pac.
All right, what happened is that I guess Pac had got whiffed that Jay-Z was in town. Well, he gonna do a show because Jay-Z, he doing a show. But you gotta realize Jay-Z had became an enemy of Pac because I think he had said was gonna do a song with Big or whatever like that, the whole 9 yards. So Jay is now Pac's enemy too. So Chaz Williams, who's over Black Hands. Black Hands is one of the labels who did that Black Gangsta had every artist in New York on. And Chaz, who is now getting into the music business, has become a music executive. And he was once a former gangster who was on American Gangster BET because they had him down for robbing 161 banks. That's what they put in their program and everything. But Chaz was a gangster in New York City that became a music executive. So he gets a phone call saying that Jay is not going to come out the room because Tupac threatened him. So he's not going to do his show. Can he make some phone calls, you understand, to get Pac off the bullshit? So I think he may have talked to Big D, and Big D and Eric B called Suge, and Suge was laughing, saying that wasn't him. Because they tried to make it seem like it was Suge that was doing it, but it was Pac. So I guess Suge called Pac. Pac let him go ahead and do his show and everything like that. But Jay was scared to come out his room.
So that story was really true about Jay-Z being afraid to come out his hotel room.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, he was scared. Probably still is.
Even Gene once said he wanted to take Jay's head off. If Jay-Z were really as dangerous as people say, would someone like Gene even dare to say that out loud?
One time I wanted to knock his head off, because he was being disrespectful. We was in Cancun and he had a personal assistant from my block named Laura. And he had brought like 6 people to the club with him, and he was only supposed to get 3 people in. I was running the door at Daddy-O's from Industries Entertainment. They just told me Jay-Z only get 3 people in. So I'm at the door. I said, yo, Jay, you good? And 3 of your other good, but the other 3 got to pay. So then he said, Laura, handle him. And at that time, the type of dude I was, you couldn't tell no woman to handle me when I'm talking to you as a man. I said, who you talking to like that? You telling her to handle me? And then me and him, he didn't say nothing. He just turned to the side. And if he'd have turned back around, he'd have got his head knocked off. But Laura told me, yo, Gene, please, Gene, you're going to make me lose my job. You know what I'm saying? And because, one, she was beautiful, 2, she from a block, I wasn't going to do that to her. So I gathered myself, stepped away from the situation, you know what I'm saying? But he was being...
Diddy and Jay were deep in the same dirty business, and there are witnesses who can back it up. Everyone in the streets knew they were working together. Gene even claimed he personally met some minors who had been involved with Jay, but somehow Jay never got arrested.
I want to say this to protect myself, that there's stories of Jay talking to underage girls. It was a girl from my block that was 16, 17 years old that Jay was talking to. If she was 17. So there's plenty of stories out there that they might flood the market of Jay talking to underage girls. I heard this kid that is claiming to be his son. His mother was 15 when she conceived him and had him at 16. And Jay refused to do a blood test or anything like that.
From your point of view, because I know you heard the statement that, Jay lawyer came out with about how he wasn't really friends with Diddy. From your point of view, was they really friends or no?
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball. They wasn't playing baseball. They wasn't playing football. And they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it. But I don't know what kind of half a homo that is. And you trying to say that you're not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass, and then you making a broad statement to the public, can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard Jay-Z said the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? So I guess that's a certain type of close.
The industry turned a blind eye and kept protecting him. Now those same lies that kept him safe are falling apart, and his empire is about to face the same collapse that Diddy's did.
Something very scary happened to him. One of his close friends is speaking out and saying that while he was sleeping at the MDC Brooklyn jail, somebody came and put a knife, pressed it to his throat. Now, as I keep digging into the story, they're saying yes, a correctional officer or a police officer was the one who came and basically helped him out and quote unquote saved him. Yes. And so, obviously Diddy's lawyers are trying to use this as a way to just get him even moved to a different location. But right now, everything is kind of staying as is.
Yeah, his safety being an issue when he's supposed to be, I think in some sort of protected environment. Remember MDC? Isn't that where the Epstein situation happened?
Yeah. Is he safe though? And you say something about him getting stabbed?
I was going to say, Diddy's team is saying no, he's not going to be safe, because in court we found out that there was an attempt on Diddy's life, that there was a man that attempted to shank him, but they stopped it, the correctional officers, and they say Diddy didn't even want people to know that he didn't want to make it a big deal. But of course they're having that conversation about will he be safe because of who he is and how high profile this case is. Right. They're also having a conversation. Mark Geragos is a high profile attorney, a friend of Diddy's, but also the dad of Teeny Geragos, who led Diddy's defense about Diddy potentially being raped in court. And we can and just attacks on his life, because they say that people look at him as like a trophy or a prize, and to do something to him.
Well, what if other inmates hear all of the stuff that we've been hearing in the news all of these weeks, and they scared of Diddy?
That's not how they presented it. I don't.
That's crazy to say Diddy's a trophy. Like, he's looked at as a trophy in jail.
It's no coincidence that just as news spreads about Jay-Z being targeted, Diddy is also getting attacked in prison. In the past 2 months alone, there have been multiple attempts on Diddy's life. The only thing that saved him so far is a quick-thinking corrections officer who stopped one of the attacks. Someone clearly wants Diddy gone, and now it looks like that same someone has Jay in their sights too.
Are you concerned that Sean Diddy Combs could be sexually assaulted, violently assaulted? Is that a thing? Because based on what was said in court, it feels like a thing.
Yeah, it clearly is a thing. I mean, they're already, and he did not want to make a big deal of it. They already tried to shank him once at the MDC, and that was thwarted. And it happens in prison. I mean, you and I can tick off how many times we are aware of somebody getting seriously injured or killed in prison. And so they're going to have to keep him somewhere that they can keep an eye on him. It would have obviously been better if he had gotten less time and had been at a camp. But he's going to be in a facility where somebody's going to have to, from the BOP, and I think they're well equipped to do it if they can, to keep an eye on him, because he is a target.
So let's say he is sent to a minimum security prison. Is he out of the woods when it comes to that kind of assault?
If you're going, you and I talked about Ghislaine Maxwell, who went from the one place in Florida, which was a higher level, not a camp, and she was transferred after she did the interview with the couple-day interview. She was transferred to what they call a camp in Texas, which I'm familiar with. I've had other.
Call it karma if you want, but Diddy's now living his own nightmare. He's terrified of being sexually assaulted in prison. For the first time, he's feeling the same kind of fear and vulnerability he used to cause others.
The lawyers, when they were speaking on Diddy being in prison and the circumstances him being in prison, I didn't never hear about this, and nobody ever said anything about this. And I want to know if it's in the prison records. They said one of the guards stopped a dude from shanking Diddy. Now, I'm like, if he was doing all this positive in jail, and they was talking about he was, all the inmates loved him, and they was employing him and doing standing ovation. I wonder what inmate was trying to shake him. Was that one of the Tupac? Was that one of the Tupac fans, or that was one of the Biggie fans? Because they said that the guard. They said that in court. One of the lawyers, one of the guards, stopped one of the individuals that was trying to shank him, bro. And that was crazy. Nobody. I never. That didn't leak. Everything leaks from prison, but that didn't leak. Nobody wrote home and say, yo, dudes is in here trying to stab Diddy up. But the lawyers mentioned that today. I want to see if they're going to investigate that right there. You know what I'm saying? And base that, or he probably used that, base that on trying to help Diddy getting into one of those camps or one of those programs that, he ain't got to worry about.
Gene Deal confirmed that the attack really happened. Charlucci Finney, one of Diddy's closest friends, was actually the first to break the story. An inmate armed with a shiv managed to sneak into Diddy's cell and tried to stab him in the middle of the night. This wasn't even the first time. This was the second attempt on his life, and as bad as that sounds, Gene says Diddy's facing even worse problems behind those walls.
Go on for so long. You know, when we were on the street, we didn't get a day's rest. I mean, the government was all over us. The FBI is all over us. They got investigations on us. They got informants. They got surveillance equipment.
He was not cutting you off, but he was an informant for years.
Was he really?
Yeah. That's why when people was like, oh, you're going to run, oh, he's not. So the reason why these type of people get caught up, they always been telling they bigger than the law because they part of the law, you know? And as you know, all these people get tired of their raps.
And here's the thing. Jay doesn't even have the kind of protection Diddy did. Diddy had connections with the government as an informant, but Jay's only shield came from the powerful people in the industry. Now that those elites are done protecting him, he's standing completely alone.
I mean, what this guy did is disgusting. I don't think there's a person alive, a man or a woman, especially women, who are not going to hate this guy. Whatever he did was completely disgusting. It's beyond criminal. I don't even know what it is. I look at it like he disgraced everybody. He disgraced the black race by being a black man. I know a lot of black people and they hate him for it because it painted a picture towards all of them. I think it's being followed all over the world. If he's not found guilty or he's cut free or he does a short amount of time, I mean, I could only imagine what the whole world would think. This is a disgusting country. So there's a lot of things.
Sammy, if you would give me your comparison. I mean, listen, guys in the mob did some terrible, terrible things. The murders were gruesome and violent and painful, and they served a purpose. They were meant to terrify people into staying in line, right? Compare that to the things that you've heard alleged from the witness stand and testimony under oath from a lot of these young women and some of the young men who were his assistants. Compare the guys in the mob to the stuff you're hearing alleged against Diddy.
If we did that in the mob, we would be for it. We would never touch women and children and stuff like that. So that's against our rules, our principles. We would never get away with something like that. There was a guy, Roy DeMeo and Gas Pipe, who became serial killers for no reason, and they were killed. So, I mean, if he was in the mafia, he would, and we knew what he was doing, he would have been.
The crimes Diddy and Jay were part of aren't the kind you walk away from safely. Michael Franzese, a former capo regime in the Colombo crime family who spent years in prison, said that if someone like Diddy had pulled those same moves in the mafia, they'd have taken him out immediately. Even the mob doesn't tolerate what Diddy was accused of doing to women, and Jay-Z isn't any different in that respect.
Like I said, Biggie died, Tupac died. And then there was the fight between who was the top rapper now, Nas and Jay-Z. And then the next thing you know, Nas has a nervous breakdown and he's taken out of the game, and it's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all of those records together. They both, Aaliyah, they shared so much in common. You know? And then there was a falling out. And that's like it never happened. Whoever talks about best of both worlds. Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks. Jay-Z has pushed away everyone who could have helped him. Now he's completely isolated. The only person left who could have stood by him was Diddy. But Diddy's locked up, and even if he could help, why would he? Jay turned his back on Diddy the moment trouble started. There's no loyalty left between them, so it's unlikely Diddy would ever lift a finger for Jay now.
All about the money. They saw what he did to Cassie. With the kicking, the punching, They saw what they did to Cassie. They know did nobody in America like that. So now these people are represented by a brand. Whether it's something about the music, clothing, movies, they not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them. And they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, you know, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking, and they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on.
And this isn't just about Jay betraying people to get ahead. Diddy played that same game, using blackmail as his weapon. Both of them climbed their way up by manipulation and violence. Gene said Diddy used to invite powerful people to his parties, secretly record them, and then use the footage to control them later. Diddy and Jay, they're two peas in the same rotten pod. Now Diddy's fighting for his life in prison. Beyonce is rumored to be preparing to walk away, and the same streets that once defended Jay-Z are now waiting to watch him fall. Gene Deal believes Jay doesn't have much time left before the truth catches up to him, and once that happens, the music industry won't be able to shield him anymore. Thanks for watching, and if you want to stay ahead of the story as it unfolds, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update here on Taylor Tells All.